Welcome everyone to the June 2022 Explorer Call, almost halfway through 2022. Hard to believe. I am your host, Janine Stanley. I'm the Director of Communications here at Aira. We have a full house on the panelist side tonight. I would like to first welcome our engineer, Sid, and just to let everybody know, this is not live on YouTube. We are coming to our YouTube audience after the meeting because a lot of places around the country, including where our lovely producer Sid lives, are having some electrical problems. Mine was yesterday, his is today, and so we are not able to stream on YouTube, but we will come to you, or are coming to you, as soon as we possibly can. So hopefully, Sid, everything is good where you are, though. You got power,
Absolutely.
you got air conditioner, right?
Air conditioning is important these days.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. And we also have our Vice President of Service Delivery here. Savannah Massey is here with us. Hello, Savannah.
Hello, everybody.
We also have another Vice President with us, our Vice President of Marketing, Sandy Marcus. Hey, Sandy.
Hi, Janine. Hi, everybody. Happy to be here this evening.
And
well, actually, sorry, for me, I realize it's not
for
evening.
us, it's evening. For other people, it may be whatever time,
Exactly.
5 o'clock somewhere. And then we have a name that may be familiar to some of you who have been around Aira for a while, Kelly Lovett. And Kelly, I don't know if you can unmute, say hello to everybody, because you're going to be hearing a lot from Kelly later on.
Awesome. Thanks, Janine. Happy to be back and so proud to be part of this dynamic, amazing, and fastly growing team.
We are excited to have you back. And we're going to introduce our special guests tonight because they have a place to be. So we are going to introduce them first. Now, I have tonight a background behind me that is very vibrant, and I love it. This was created by one of our agents, Emma, last year. It is my Pride background. And I don't know, I don't know if you all want to take a stab at describing this background, my Zoom background. Anybody want to take a stab at it? Sandy is, being recruited as an agent, so.
I was just going to say, I'm an agent wannabe. So behind Janine, as she said, is a vibrant background. It is, let's see, if you imagine a rectangle divided into 3 vertical sections. So the leftmost section has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 colors that are kind of an arrow shape with a right angle point. 5 different color stripes. There's white, pink, light blue, chocolate brown, and black. And then that arrow, again, it's the 3rd left portion of the rectangle, meets with the other 2 portions, the center and the right, are a rainbow flag of horizontal stripes with red at the top, then orange, then yellow, then green, then blue, then violet. And then superimposed across the whole thing is Aira's logo, which is a turquoise circle with a lowercase a in white, and then next to it, AIRA, all in lowercase letters for Aira. And then in front of it is the lovely and dynamic Janine.
With my lovely black
really
Aira shirt.
wearing her black Aira t-shirt with that same logo across the front of the t-shirt.
And all kinds of headphone cables.
Lots of headphone cables, but the repetition of the logo looks great, and the color backdrop is really full of energy and full of life.
It is so cool. And that is actually a great lead-in for our guests this evening. 2 of our guests, the very full of life and vibrant folks I'm going to introduce to you. We like to celebrate at Aira all the time, and this month we are celebrating a bunch of things, some internal, some external. And of course, externally, we are celebrating Pride Month. And to help us do that and tell us a little bit about an organization that maybe some of you do not know about are Anthony Corona and the president of Blind Pride International, Mr. Gabriel Lopez Cafati. Hello, gentlemen.
Oh,
Hi,
hello.
Janine. Hi, everyone in the
Hey.
Aira Explorer world.
Hey, we are so glad to have you both. So tell us a little bit, what is Blind Pride International and where can people find you? What are you doing this month to celebrate?
Well, this is Gabe. We're Blind Pride International, or BPI, we are a special interest affiliate of the American Council of the Blind, and we are proudly the only organization representing the intersectionality of those of us who are blind or visually impaired members of the LGBTQ plus community. And we do all sorts of things, advocacy being like our main objective, to raise awareness and create spaces for advocating for the rights of, LGBTQ blind and visually impaired persons like ourselves. And we do a lot of things fun. We do a lot of learning activities. We have community calls. We have a huge presence at every ACB convention. We have a fall social networking event. But this month specifically, we have our own podcast, which is called Pride Connection, which airs on ACB Media 1 every Tuesday at 10 p.m. Eastern. And then it's available on all your major podcast catchers. And we've celebrated through different programs. We've had a program dedicated to celebrating what is Pride, and kind of just from a very personal standpoint. We invited some of our members, some of our allied members, because yes, you do not have to be part of the LGBTQ community to be a part of BPI. We have a lot of allied members who just love, the openness and the accepting and the embracing space that we provide in BPI. And yeah, definitely check out that podcast. It is still running on ACB Media 1, and our podcast is called Pride Connection. And like I said, we talked about what is Pride for, what does Pride represent for each one of us, what does it mean, how we celebrate Pride. And it's just amazing how Pride has grown to be such a tradition, and how it's been embraced by the community at large. It fills our heart to know that that people do understand where we come from. And I'm gonna hand it over to Anthony, but before I do that, I just want to say that whenever someone asks you why Pride, I always say that we used to be, the LGBT community used to be in the closet. We were confined to that secret life, which is so sad. And the genesis of that is shame. So the opposite of shame is pride. So now we live in pride.
Awesome. I love that. And definitely, we are very proud to be associated with you. So, Anthony, tell me a little bit about what's going on in your world. You are a big presence on ACB Media with your show Sunday Edition, as well as Pride Connection, and who knows what else coming up into convention. So, what's the immediate future looking like for you?
Well, it's always, for the next 15 days, it is going to continue to be about Pride. We use our social media to ask that same question that Gabe asked everyone to ask themselves, why Pride? As well as, highlighting prides around the country and some of our members. Me personally, though, like you said, I also helm Sunday Edition, and a little birdie whispered in my ear that you're going to be popping up on Sunday Edition this Sunday, correct, Miss Janine?
You bet I am. I'm always excited to be on Sunday Edition, but you all will hear some of the things we're going to be talking about, and who knows? Maybe we'll say something even newer on Sunday Edition. But yeah, we want to make sure that everybody hears the word, and what greater place to do that than ACB Media's Sunday Edition?
Well, if I can, besides the Pride stuff that we're doing this month, we really put a focus. This is going to be the first hybrid convention of the American Council of the Blind. And usually when you say BPI and convention, folks will say wine tasting.
Oh, yeah.
Gabe is a, basically some, I can never say that word, but he is a wine educator par excellence. I kind of bring the fun, he brings the education. So we're gonna have three.
Wait a minute, I bring the fun too. Don't make me sound like the boring one.
Oh, wine tasting is
far
never
from boring. But we wanted to really knock it out of the park. 2 years ago, when BPI celebrated its 20th anniversary, we really were disappointed that the convention had to go to a virtual model. And a lot of us were left scrambling. Last year, 21 programs for 21 years of BPI. And this year we're bringing Making Gay History, the podcast, Eric Marcus, who works with the Stonewall Foundation. He's going to be teaching us and leading us through how the HIV/AIDS epidemic changed the course of advocacy for the LGBTQ plus community. We're going to have panels on mature dating, I'm leading a panel that I'm really excited about. For our blind and visually impaired folks. I have a group of sighted friends that are a hoot, as well as voiceover actors and other things. And that goes along with some of the things I'm doing on Sunday Edition. But we got them together and we collected questions from ACB members that they wanted to know about the visual cues of dating and flirting. How long is eye contact supposed to last for? How do you know if someone's leaning into you? I remember one question that I never thought about. And when it came across my email, I was like, wow, this is a good one. I always hear in books and movies, she tucked her hair behind her ear and tilted her head. What does that mean in a flirting situation? So all those questions and so many more are going to be answered. All I can say is please go to acb.org and hit the convention program list and check it out. The BPI presentation, we have 13 really, really well done presentations, including an amazing 3D audio presentation, an immersive presentation where Chris Snyder, who's one of our board members and an award-winning audio describer, engineer, etc., is going to be taking us for a ride in a Tesla and an orbit launch space something. He's the technical guru.
It's gonna be 3D.
Oh my gosh.
It's gonna be 3D immersive audio.
Oh, how wild.
And then I just wanted to say, we had the chance to speak with some of the Aira folks last week, and Gabriel and I presented our personal stories and how much, last year we collaborated with Aira as well for the New York Preservation Society Stonewall Foundation tour of the West Village and some major iconic spots for our community. But Aira has been a part of my journey for a really, really long time. I'm about 6.5 years into blindness. And quite honestly, if it wasn't for Aira, I would never be with my partner, who happens to be Gabe. So I always feel like Aira is, my favorite aunt, right across the big Italian dinner table, who's always going to be there for me and with me and behind me. So just want to thank everybody at Aira for all the wonderful things that they've helped us achieve, and on a personal level, for helping me get a guy like Gabe.
Oh, so you're going to make me tear up again, just like last week. Thanks. No, these guys are fantastic. And that special is on our YouTube channel, and there will be a link to it. Actually, we will be putting that in our social media. Probably next week, we're really going to start putting that one out, but I may put it out on Friday because I don't have a pet picture for Friday. So you all will get to check out this link to a wonderful special. So I'm so glad you're going to have Eric at the convention, because he's a great guy. He introduced us to the folks that helped us do that special last year, and that was phenomenal. So I want to wrap this up with the two of you by be sure please to let everybody know where they can find you, BPI, and then Gabriel, you are doing getting into politics, I understand.
Oh my God, yeah. So to go in order of easier two more difficult answers. You can find BPI at www.blindlgbtpride.org. Again, that's blindlgbtpride.org. And there's all sorts of good info there, contact information. There's a direct link to my phone number as the president. So if you click on that link, you'll get me. And there's the emails to all of our board members, myself included, and there's all sort of information. And especially that button that we love that says join.
Wait. There's another button that we really, really love too. It's called donate.
Donate. Yes. Yes.
No, if you really become a part of BPI, or if you give us a chance, you'll see that we are a very unique group. People, conventions, like Anthony said, are very special, very busy, but very special time of the year for us, because people come to BPI because the buzz is around that we do the fun and cool things at conventions. So they come in through the events that we put together, like the wine tastings, the yoga, the dating, and other workshops that we do. We do serious stuff as well. No, just kidding.
Oh, yeah.
But once you get a glimpse of BPI, people just fall in love with the dynamic of the group. It's a very diverse group, and it's fun. It's very relaxed. And the most important thing that I always make sure to tell people is that you are welcome. The only thing that is not welcome is judgment. BPI is a judgment-free zone, and come with an open mind and an open heart, and you'll surely find a family just like we have. And to answer your second question, Janine, I have always been a political person. But this time, I'm not into politics in the national level, at least, speaking of the country. I am actually a candidate for the board of directors of the American Council of the Blind. And actually that's the commitment that we have in a less than half an hour, I think, is I have, you don't have to, Anthony. I know you're streaming something, but yeah, we have a candidates forum tonight, which is sponsored by the Board of Publications of the American Council of the Blind. And if we have any ACB members, vote Gabriel.
Awesome. And Gabriel, you are the first openly LGBTQ person to run.
Yes, I am. I always make sure to tell people I'm the first openly.
Yes, there you go. See?
Yeah, and proud. And I think it is time. ACB has given us a home as far as BPI is concerned. The origin of BPI was not all that smooth, but thankfully we were blessed with amazing founding members who did not take no for an answer. And here we are 22 years later, going strong, going solid, going proud. But now I think it's time for one of us, and I guess I'm the only daring or courageous one who's taking this bold step. But I think it is time that more colors of the rainbow, because I believe that we are all straight, gay, bisexual, androgynous. We're black, white, Asian. We're all part of the rainbow. So I think it's time to put some more color into the rainbow of the ACB Board of Directors.
Awesome. Well, we all here at Aira wish you the best of luck, and thank you both for coming to speak to everybody tonight.
Janine, can I leave everybody with one last thought?
Oh, absolutely.
We started this conversation with why Pride, and I just want to put it out there. Every time someone, and the agents at Aira are really validating when we've needed visual interpretation for things that may be LGBTQ related. But every time you validate, especially our young generations out there, yes, every time you validate someone, you save a life.
You do.
And that's part of Pride too. there's so many that struggle. We think it's 2022 and parents don't throw their children out anymore, and the horrific things that we heard in the 60s and 70s, but it does still happen. So pride is also about validation and saying you are beautiful, you are special. So thank you for letting me share that, and have a great
Oh.
meeting, everyone.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Anthony. And now you are going to make me cry. That is such a
Well,
powerful thought.
since Anthony said that, I am gonna close with saying that I remember last year when Anthony, obviously we met at an Ira session, or at least he heard my voice at an Ira session at the ACB conference in 2019 in Rochester, New York. And for our anniversary present last year, I gave Anthony a pair of Pride Toms, that were rainbow color and had all sorts of cute rainbow and Pride insignias inside and outside. And I didn't want to tell him what it was, so I said, call Ira, get Ira, and have them describe them to you. And the agent was fascinated.
Yeah.
The agent said, the agent took pictures of it and sent them to us, and she was amazing. I don't remember her name, otherwise I would tell you. But she said, I remember when Anthony was about to hang up the call, those have to be the coolest shoes I've ever seen.
Awesome. Oh, I love it.
Yeah,
I love
thank
it.
you.
Well, thank you, gentlemen, and have a lovely evening. And I love talking about our agents, and that is going to bring us into the Ira news. Dun, 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 dun. I don't have any sound effects tonight, but well, actually, I do. Hang on just a minute here. Whoa. No, it's not going to work. Okay, never mind that. Alrighty, so speaking of Ira news, we've had a bunch of big things going on, haven't we, Sandy? Woo, where do we start?
Let me get off mute. We do have lots going on. I can talk about two promotions and
Let's
recap some news that we shared back in April, if you'd like.
absolutely. Let's do it.
Okay. All right. First one. This is so much fun for me. I'd love to be a talk show host someday. So this is as close as I can get. So the first one that we announced not that long ago is a refer an agent, what at least in the business world that I come from, we would call it a spiff. So you can earn Ira minutes. So if you are, pardon me, if you are an explorer and you know someone who would make a great Ira agent, you should direct them to our webpage, and we're going to put the URL in the chat just after I finish talking. And they will read about us. They will go through the application process. And if we hire them and they stay for 90 days or more, 90 days is the threshold, then you, as the referring explorer, will earn 120 Ira minutes that will go into your Ira account. And this offer is good for guest explorers or people with paid subscription, and our corporate explorers. And just to let you know, we announced this not that long ago, maybe a month
Yeah, I
ago,
think it
give or
was.
take.
Yeah.
Yes, and we have had one hire already. So have at it. Think about people you know who demonstrate to you the right skills. And again, we'll post that URL in the chat and tell them to check us out, and you could earn 120 Ira minutes. So that's promotion number one. And then as we look forward to convention season, and everybody's talking about convention season, I wanted to draw your attention to two things. The first one, if you're going to NFB in New Orleans, or I suppose as Troy would say, New Orleans.
Yep,
I
Nolans.
can't really do it right, as though it's one word. We, Ira, we are sponsoring agent assistants to do an at-home rapid test. So NFB is requiring of all conference attendees, or excuse me, convention attendees, that they submit proof of a negative COVID test within 3 days of their arrival at convention. And so Ira will support from the 2nd of July to the 7th of July calls into agents to support you with taking your test and then sending a date and time stamped photograph labeled with your name to NFB. So that'll come online on the 2nd of July. And then for anybody attending ACB, ACB is not looking for people to show evidence of a negative test in order to attend. However, they are asking for people to demonstrate proof of vaccination. So our Aira COVID promotion, which has been going on now for quite some time, has as one of the tasks taking a photograph, labeling and dating of that photograph of your vaccination card. So we'll be able to support anybody attending ACB. So those are our two promotions to talk about tonight, Janine. And then I've got one reminder about something we announced back in April. And this is seemingly simple, but maybe we'll say equally important. And that is back in April, we announced a change to how incoming calls are handled. Way back, way before I joined Aira, the protocol for inbound calls was they would ring for whatever the period of time was. And then if for some reason the call wasn't answered, it was disconnected. So explorers have been asking for us to change that. And back in April, we did. So now when you call in, if your call isn't answered immediately and it rings just for a bit, it will keep ringing until it gets answered. And you want to stay on the line through that period because you'll move up in the queue and be next answered based on when you initially called. If you hang up and then call back and you hang up and then call back, it's as though it's a new call and you start all over each time. So when we're busy, you want to stay on the line. And again, you'll move up and be answered in the order. I sound like a telephone operator. Your call will be answered in the order in which it was received. There's one other, actually, sorry, there's two other comments I wanted to make. One is a future thought. So today that rings and then you get picked up. There are thoughts, no timeline on this, about being able to announce the estimated time, future state. And then the other now activity is in order for this feature to keep ringing and stay on the line to be answered in the order in which your call was received, you do need to update your app. So whether you're iOS or your Android, in order to receive the software update that enables this, you need to do an update. And I think that we have a newsroom post about this, and I'm doing that off the top of my head, and if we don't, we will. So I'm going to hand it back to Janine for a moment, and I will put the URL for the refer an agent spiff in the chat for anybody who's interested in that. And it's an easy one. You probably don't even need to grab it from the chat. It's ira.io/our OUR-agents, plural. So OUR-AGENTS.
Excellent. Excellent. And speaking of our agents, you may have noticed that we have some new voices on the line. We have been hiring a number of agents. I don't know if any of you remember the old days when we used to have those huge conventions every summer, and we would hire a lot of new agents coming up to convention because we needed them. Well, we have hired some new folks, so we ask you to please, just to be patient. Remember, they are getting their sea legs, and I ended up talking to 3 of them today. I just got really lucky, and I'll tell you, they're good people. You will be very impressed. So we hear you, and I think you're going to like the new crop of folks coming in. Well, there's some excitement going on around Starbucks, right?
That's right. That's right.
Uh-huh.
Just as a quick pivot before we talk about that, I will do I'm so sorry about the cough, forgive me, but a shout out, right, to our colleagues who do hiring and training.
Absolutely.
We're thrilled about our growing ranks.
Absolutely. Yep.
So Janine's right. There's excitement. It is about Starbucks, but it's even bigger than that. So we introduced just, oh golly, not even 10 days ago, I think it was the 7th of June,
Yep.
something called Aira Points. So not unlike being asked to change the call waiting queue, we've been asked for a loyalty and reward program. And finally, you asked, we listened, and we've answered. So Aira Points is just that, a loyalty and reward program. And I'm going to hand it to what I would call, not what, I'm sorry, Kelly, I just called you a I'm going to hand it to who I would call my partner in crime in just a split second, who will describe more pardon me, more about it. But the backdrop that I want to set up for this is it's a pilot program from the 7th of June until the end of this calendar year. And if we're met with enthusiastic response from the Explorer community, it will give us justification to look at going more broad, more activity in this continent, outside of this continent, and more activity with other access partners beyond Starbucks. But keep that in mind that right now it's limited and simple by design. We want to pilot where we'll be able to tell with clarity, again, whether this is of interest and the Explorer community is enthusiastic about it. So with that, I'll hand it to Kelly, who will talk us through a little bit of the specifics and then how it works. And then when we get to the Q&A, we'll be able to answer people's questions.
Awesome. Thank you, Sandy. Thank you, Janine, for teeing this off. For those of you who know me, I'm Kelly Lovett. I reside in sunny San Diego. I was part of Aira for quite a few years as the director of consumer, and I was asked to come back to help recently launch a couple fun programs that are really a benefit for our explorers. And I can remember my first convention in 2016 or 17 and meeting a lot of you. Oh yeah, I was on the flight with Troy, and I just remember him saying, "Get ready, you're going to have a wild week." But one thing with working on the field with a lot of people on this call actually was, just like with any consumer-facing brand, when you look at, JetBlue, you look at Kroger's, you look at Sephora, DSW, these businesses reward their customers for their loyalty. So why wouldn't we do that too? And yes, I wish everywhere we went, that visual interpretation as a right should be available. We're just not there yet. So Starbucks was first to step up to bat and say, hey, we want to be part of this loyalty program and do some co-marketing with you to let people know about Starbucks and the benefit. Without them, anyone doesn't even have to buy anything. We just want people to come to the store and enjoy a visual experience via Aira. So we put our heads together, and with Troy's blessing, we launched the program. So it's been about a week now, and we've had a lot of questions filled through. So we thought, if Janine didn't mind, if we could take the hot seat for a couple of minutes and just walk everyone through how it works and what it looks like. So this is a pilot, as we've heard before. So that means, it's starting small scale, US based. Just as some background, I've done a lot of international launches before too, and there's a lot of different rules in a lot of different countries that you have to deal with rewards, sweepstakes, et cetera, et cetera. So when we go worldwide, which we will, with this, we want to make sure all our I's are dotted and our T's are crossed. So we also need more access partners internationally in order to make this happen too. So that answers the international stuff. I'm happy to expand that more. The other pieces, this is free. It's a free program, so anyone can enroll. But just like if you fly on JetBlue, they don't automatically put you in the rewards. You got to just at least fill out a form to say, I agree to this reward program. That's a lot of the behind the scenes stuff. So what it is both guest explorers and paid subscribers can earn points just by using Aira Starbucks promotion at any US Starbucks locations. Started June 7th, and we'll actually run this promotion through December 31st, and then revisit, expand it to other countries, other access partners, etc. So right now, the Aira Points is not an in-app experience. So unlike your other rewards programs where you can log on the website and look at your rewards and points, that's not there yet. That's being built in the back end. But as you guys know, our development team is pretty busy with the desktop launch and other things going on. So it's definitely on the dock, but it's just not there yet. So right now, the way it'll work is, and I can go into details of how many points you earn, but you'll accumulate points. And now you can go and redeem those points for Starbucks gift cards. So the end of every month, you'll actually receive an email statement that will say you went this amount of times, this is what you earned, and now you're eligible to redeem them. And then there's a form on there. I know you've already visited that form that you'll be able to submit once you receive that email. If anything seems off, our care team and agents are ready to rock and walk you through how it works. So if you, I get a lot of questions too. I don't know where Starbucks is. I've never gone before. Both in your Aira app, when you click on the promotions, it will show you all the access Starbucks. I literally just did it while I was waiting here, and I have 21 Starbucks. I'm in San Diego, 21 Starbucks within 3 miles of me, which is a lot because we forget that they're in Bonds, they're in Piggly Wiggly, they're in Stop and Shop back east. So just something to think about, that there might be a Starbucks within a shorter distance than you thought. And our care agents are always happy to log in and look it up, or ask an agent. Our agents on this crazy dashboard I used to describe them like, it's like you're talking to someone from NASA. They have like 3 video screens in front of them, and on one of their screens is Google Maps. So they can actually go into Google Maps and look to see where the closest Starbucks is to. So feel free to ask any of us. We're here to support. So how does it work? Literally, one, fill out the enrollment form, which Sandy's going to throw the link into the Starbucks rewards Aira Points into our chat right here. One, fill out the enrollment form, which is just your name, your email, and your phone number saying, I'm in, I want to join this free program. The second is you start going to Starbucks. So you get, just for going to Starbucks and calling Aira for the first time from June 7th on, you get 100 points. Then any visit after that is 20 points, with additional things like if you go 4 times in a month, you'll get an additional 100 bonus. So once you hit 250, which is definitely doable, you'll be able to redeem that for a $25 gift card. Which is pretty cool. And those gift cards right now are just for Starbucks. But again, as we add more access partners and expand more, we'll add more and more other offers on there. So we wanted to be lean and mean, get this right the first time, launch it as a pilot, and let you guys benefit. And again, there's no purchase necessary. You don't have to pay to join. You don't have to pay to go into the Starbucks. You don't have to buy anything at Starbucks. So what we'll do is also send out the email. If you have questions, you'll call care. We're willing to listen to other places. Someone has already sent a couple, questions to agents about where else they'd like to see the points. We're definitely down to hear that, because we want this to be, all about what will benefit the explorers, because you guys are our loyal customers and the reason we're around. So I think I covered everything on my side. Sandy, I know you had a couple other things that you wanted to cover too.
Yeah, sure. I'll pop in. So I did put the URL.
Thank you.
So sorry about coughing, everybody. Please forgive me. I did put the URL in the chat. Thank you. Oh, you bet. So aira.io/Aira-points. I think just about everything you'll want to know is there, as Kelly described. We encourage you to sign up, and you can go as often and as quickly and frequently as you like. again, Starbucks is every place. We're just proud of our partnership with them. So I think Kelly covered that. We talked a bit about our new agents and that our ranks are growing. So through convention season and taking advantage of the Aira Points promotion should be easy for everybody. And then the last thing, and I also think that we touched on this just a wee bit, but it's worth covering. So again, pilot, limited in scope, so that we've got a sort of finite landscape to evaluate success, to evaluate success on. We do want to look outside of the US. Again, this continent and moving over to Europe. We do ongoing work with organizations like RNIB and absolutely encourage our explorers who are outside of the US, whether you're in Europe or Australia or New Zealand, to voice your support to your local advocacy organization about spreading the word. More and more people, a healthy community in any given country certainly makes it easier and easier for us to say to our partners, let's do a program together like we're doing with the Aira Points program. So we've got lots going on. We're halfway through the year, like Janine said. We're excited about Aira Points. We're excited about seeing everybody at the conventions. And we're excited about all of our new agents. So June is feeling, and we're excited about Pride Month. So June is feeling good.
A lot of Aira love.
Oh yeah.
And can I just do a quick plug too for those of you who are venturing out into convention season? Hope to see some of you there. At ACW, there's a Starbucks at your headquarter hotel. So if you are in a Starbucks, give us a ring, earn some points. You can earn 3 gift cards, and you can use them for yourself or give them to your loved ones. Up to you what you do with your gift cards, as long as you use them. And then also NFB at the Sheridan across the street. So the HQ is Marriott. They have their own cafe, but across the street, the Overflow Hotel, which I know some meetings are at too. There's a Starbucks there too. So yeah. So and feel free to message me, email me. I'm Kelly@aira.io if you have ideas, questions, comments, or if you just want to catch up. Happy to hear it all. But
I'm sure you're seeing a few familiar names in our list.
Absolutely. I'm so excited to be back. And Janine, if you do need a picture of the week of a pet, my rescue dog, my golden retriever is 1.5. She's a wild child.
Oh my goodness.
I named her Betty White, so that's even more fun. So.
Oh, well, you're gonna have to send that to me now.
Oh, I will.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you guys.
Thank you so much, Kelly and Sandy. And speaking of convention, just to let you all know, we will be around ACB. We will not have a booth in the exhibit hall, but we will have a virtual booth where we will have programming all throughout the ACB exhibit hall time schedule. And you're going to be seeing that. We'll have a post in our newsroom, so check our RSS feed, check our email list, check our social media, because we're going to be pointing you to where that content will be. And we hope that you will join us virtually. And then we will be in New Orleans with a booth at NFB. We also have 2 presentations there. And again, you're going to be hearing all kinds of things about those as they develop and formalize. And I believe the schedule for that is coming out to end of this week, beginning of next week, I think. They're going to have the whole schedule out. And so keep on the lookout for those. Let's see. Oh, the other big thing that happened before we open up the phones, the other big thing that happened this month was, of course, Apple's WWDC, and that's the Worldwide Developers Conference. And at that conference, of course, they announced the beta cycle for iOS 16, iPadOS 16, and, well, there's also watchOS and Mac OS Ventura. I'm losing track of the names now of these things, but Ventura. And these things came out the next day in the public developer, I'm sorry, not the public, but the developer versions. And some of you have downloaded them and noticed that there are some difficulties using Aira with the beta software. And so we're going to tell you that, number one, we totally support people being involved with beta software on every level that they can be. Just please understand that, you are using beta software. And at this point in time, we can't guarantee that our app is going to always work with it. However, we like to know what the bugs are so that we can prepare and fully support the software when it becomes public this fall. I'll say the same thing when the public beta opens up. So do it at your own risk. Please don't do it on a primary device, especially if you need Aira for something like work, something like that. But certainly test out this software and see what's coming. Well, Sid, let's, as they say in radio, let's open up the phones. Let's
suggest if you've got a question, please go ahead and raise your hand. And
throw your hands in the air.
And looking to see if we've got any calls. Exciting times. It looks like Austin is available with a question.
All right.
And Austin, you should be online. Please go ahead and ask your question.
Hello, Austin.
Buenos dias. I mean, good evening, everybody.
Good evening, sir. So what can we do for you this evening?
Well, I'm actually going to the convention for New Orleans, and it said it did cover like the hotel. Like I'm going to 500, was it this across the street? I think it's Hilton.
The Sheridan across the street. Yeah, well, this year we are not covering the convention hotels per se, but the Starbucks in the lobby of the Sheridan is covered. And so that one definitely will be covered. And we have the assistance for your COVID test prior to going to convention. But the hotels themselves will not be covered this year.
Wait, what about the airport? Because I'm in the closest airport is SMF, it's Sacramento International. And yes, there is a Starbucks in the airport.
Oh, that would absolutely be covered. That Starbucks in the airport, absolutely. Now, I'm not sure if Sacramento is in our airport list, but if you
it's not.
Oh, okay. I didn't think so, but I wasn't sure because there are a number of airports in California that are. And we are still working on New Orleans, and no word yet on the airport there. It is not covered at the present time, but I know that our folks have been working on that one. But any of those Starbucks in any of the public places, airports, malls, my Starbucks that I like is in a mall, and that's my after shopping treat. So. Yeah.
What
Yes, sir. I'm sorry. All righty. Well,
sorry. One thing. I am the layover and shut up. Sorry, I have voiceovers talking when they're talking. What about shut up?
Well, I tell you what, Austin, why don't we will take, I was going to say, we will take your question. If you can hold on just a second, we'll let somebody else have a question in here, and then we will come back to you. How does that sound?
Great. And I think the next one we've got coming up will be Autumn. Autumn, you're live. Please go ahead and ask your question.
Hello, Autumn.
Hello. First off, I'd like to say it's my birthday, so any happy birthdays would be
absolutely happy birthday. Wow. Whoa.
Thank you so much. And on to my actual question. You mentioned agents. You guys are looking for like more hirees, I guess would be the word.
Yep.
In California, is that still like possible or?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And I know, oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Sandy, please.
Oh, no, no.
Let everybody know.
No, we're probably going to say the same thing. First and foremost, actually, before I even answer the question, I'll say that Savannah and I spend a lot of time together and are beginning to understand, well, certainly we understand one another's strategy, but understanding some of the detail of one another's organization. So that's a good thing about Aira, but specific Autumn. So we're always hiring, always reviewing resumes, interviewing people. You never know when you're going to find the perfect candidate. We don't wait till the moment where we say, you know, we need somebody. We're always looking and hiring. And what I would say is the lead with criteria is finding a great person. So if you have ideas and they happen to be, I would say, don't think about where they are. If you have great ideas, suggest that they get in touch with us and that they apply.
All right. And then how, like, you all, like, I also heard that points or minutes would be distributed to the person who could.
Sure. So I can,
the agent?
Sure. So not to the agent. So I can explain. So if you and I knew one another and you referred me to interview as an agent and Aira hires me, I tell Aira, Autumn recommended that I interview with you. Aira hires me. After 90 days in the job, after I'm in the job for 90 days, then you would get 120 Aira minutes in your account.
Awesome. And those minutes, like, they wouldn't go away after a certain period?
Nope.
Or
nope. Okay. Those are yours to keep.
Wow. All right. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And I would also mention too, this is Kelly, Autumn, the agents are 100% remote. So I know you mentioned California. Yes, we're absolutely in California, but we have agents pretty much in every single state, and a lot of them travel remote too. We had someone who was on a cruise last week. So it's anywhere, as long as they have their internet and the quiet place to work and are a great, visual description and a good person, like Sandy said, we would love to talk to them.
And we especially love folks who are bilingual, if they are Spanish speakers or French speakers, because now we do also have French available for folks. So that's an added plus if you know somebody who is fluent and would be a wonderful person to be an agent. So bring them on. We are excited. So anybody else out there with a question?
I'll go ahead and bring up Alex.
Hello, Alex. And
Alex, can you go ahead with your question, please? Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
There you go. Yes, we can.
It kept popping up asking me to unmute, even though I tapped the buttons. I don't know what was happening.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm sure you know what's coming, Janine.
I know what's coming. I was going to say, Alex is up late in the UK. Or
yes,
early,
I told
were.
Janine I was going to be. So, so anyway, you know my question. So, can and I guess it's good as you've got the sort of international sort of marketing people here and what have you. Can you give us a sense of Aira's strategy for rolling out with international access partners and increasing their numbers? I mean, I'm not asking for specifics, A, B, C, D, E, but say, are you hoping to get some in by, I don't know, middle of 2023? If so, how many? Or can you give us a sense of what your sort of objectives are, like short term, long term, medium term?
Sure. So I'm sure you can appreciate that I'm I'm not going to share any specific numbers.
No, I'm not asking for names or anything
Right,
like that,
right,
but
right,
just
right.
figures and,
Right. So
an aspirational timescale would be nice.
sure. So, well, and I'm not in a position to share time frame, but what I will tell you, we think about two things. One, we're committed to service delivery. We want to grow the base of explorers in Great Britain, just like we continue to focus on growing the base of explorers here. The more people we can talk about having our app, whether it's on the phone or eventually on other devices, the stronger the case is for partners who come to us or people to whom we approach, not to whom, sorry, the stronger and easier it is to build the case for people who come to us or people we approach about why they want to provide this service for their passengers, travelers, patrons, customers, guests. You can fill in the long list there. So
it sounded, yes, I can.
Yeah.
It's a very political answer, shall we say?
Well, so I mentioned this before, and I think it's important and worth repeating again. We do spend time with RNIB, and the more you and the likes of you voice your interest and your enthusiasm about Aira and about them supporting us in country, I think that we'll be able to move a little bit more quickly here. And obviously all of the different advocacy organizations have their own unique points of view about approaches to O&M, about independent living skills, about navigation, about assistive technology. So we're not looking to change anybody's point of view or beliefs, but the advocacy organizations talk about us as one more tool that people can use. If we can continue to get that kind of, I'd say, enthusiastic support, maybe even heading toward endorsement in other countries, then moving a little bit more quickly with access partners, I think is well within our reach.
So, okay, so for example, do you think it's likely then we will probably see some partners, say, within 5 years, 10 years?
Oh, I would hope, and I don't have a crystal ball. I wish I had a quick crystal ball. I would hope that we make tangible strides sooner than 5 years. 5 years feels pretty far away to me.
That does.
Yeah.
And especially just a couple more questions, as it were, if it's okay. Have you thought about sort of targeting your marketing and information sort of more specifically, so that say if stuff's only relevant to the US, it's only gets sent to the US? Because I'll tell you why. Because I have a friend who signed up for the Starbucks, and he's in the UK, and surely your systems should have been programmed so that it shouldn't have let him. And he was rather irked, to say the least, when I told him the stuff, but when he wouldn't be able to use it. And he and I feel that maybe the marketing should be targeted a bit more finely, shall we say, the email newsletters and emails and things.
Sure. So I have two thoughts in response to that, and I'm only giggling because Janine and I, as you can imagine, spend many hours talking to one another, working on things, and I seem to always have two thoughts. Anyway, so my first thought in response to that, Alex, is it is a legitimate and valid piece of feedback, and a place for us to, be a little bit more sophisticated in what we send to whom. My second thought, which is admittedly in contradiction, is if your friend were traveling in the States this summer, not just this summer, if your friend were traveling in the States anytime between now and the end of the year, and he, she, or they wanted to go to Starbucks here, that's perfectly fine. So again, I realize those two things are a bit in contradiction of one another, but the point on the first about targeted content is valid. And then the second is, we want everybody to participate in Aira Points. And again, we're excited about the prospect of growing it and being a little bit more broad in 2023.
Mm-hmm. I mean, so I mean, is there hope? Might there be scope to do something for international customers where you might be able to expand it to online offers, say use of websites or whatever it might be, if given the lack of access partners elsewhere?
It's exactly what we envision, right? It doesn't have to be the activity doesn't have to be a physical or face-to-face activity. It could certainly be a digital activity.
I think that's essential for the moment until the network starts to expand. But thanks, Beth. I'm glad I've somewhat held your feet to the fire there.
No
and
problem.
you did it with extreme grace, Alex.
Yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely. No, they're all very, very reasonable questions.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Thank you so much. And I think we can take one more since we get a bit of a late start. So do we have anybody else out there with any?
We do.
Ooh.
We'll go ahead and see if Anne, you're on. Please go ahead and ask your question.
Hello there.
Oh, hi. Can you all hear me?
We sure can.
Hi, I'm Anne. I'm in Hawaii, and I started to become an explorer earlier on, and then I thought, well, but there won't be other people here. Do you have other users or other explorers in Hawaii?
Absolutely, yes. Yes, we do. And in fact, I think I did see Milton Oda on this call in our audience, and Milton is certainly, I believe, still in Hawaii.
No, he's in North Dakota.
Oh, well, see, goes to show you, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But we do have
Yes.
other,
Yes.
yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And
There are plenty in Hawaii.
Sid can tell you
Okay.
because he takes the calls.
And does Starbucks that program include Hawaii? And before
Absolutely.
you say, well, duh, Hawaii's part of the U.S., it doesn't always work that way.
Yeah, I understand. I totally do. But no, it absolutely includes Hawaii and Alaska.
Okay.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, yeah, please, definitely. I mean, we have a number of customers in Hawaii. We also have I think we may have some agents in Hawaii as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this is Kelly. I've been to the training center in Honolulu. We have quite a few. Some of our beta testers were like back in 2015. We're based in Hawaii too. So we have a lot of students out there as well. Yeah. There's a good amount of you guys. And a great way to connect is to ask the Explorer group on Facebook who's there, because we as a business can't give out information for specific people, but it's definitely a good crew out in Hawaii. And you guys need me to go back out there. Janine and I are in.
Absolutely.
Well, I have this comment for Janine, and maybe you'll know what I mean. I thought I'd hold off because the pandemic, there wasn't a lot going on that I could get out and do. But I'm retired now, and I retired because of the pandemic. But that's a whole other story. I hated working remotely. Anyway. But that's okay. So I'm retired. I finally am approved to get my next dog guide, my next leader dog, after 2 years of hit and miss with scheduling and all of that. I'll be in a class starting July 10th.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. I've been using dogs for over 40 years, and this has been the most arduous process.
Tell me about it. Absolutely.
Um,
And you are going to love having Ira with your new dog. I will tell you.
That's what I was meaning to imply.
Mhm.
The
Yes.
Because I live on Kauai, which is a small, rather rural, but not completely rural, but rather rural island.
Mhm.
And I thought, all the advantages I could have would be only good for me and my dog, because I don't want anything that hauls me back. I want to be able to hit the ground running pretty much.
Mhm.
And so, yeah.
Yep.
Any of your thoughts on Ira and dog and new dog
Absolutely.
would be appreciated.
Absolutely. And that's kind of a great way to wrap it up, is kind of how to go adventuring, with either a new dog or your cane or whatever. But I have found, and I had agents help me out, because I live in an area without sidewalks and I don't think there's one straight road where I live. And so my dog had to do a lot of learning pretty quickly to keep me safe. And I had the agent on the phone also describing, and I said, now I would like you to let me know when he veers away from, the edge of the road, so that I can correct him, because I don't always feel it, with the new dog, especially if you haven't been working one for a while. It can be a little difficult sometimes. And so they were really great about that. And also, okay, I'm going to be crossing a street now, and I know this street, but could you let me know if we are veering at all? And that was fantastically helpful as well. And then the agents can take pictures, which I love, because you can plaster them all over your social media. Send them to your friends, send them back to your instructors, which is always fun with the new dog. Hey, check it out. Oh, you would have some fantastic pictures on Kauai, I would think. Just really scenic ones there. But that's some of the things that I have done with my dog and Ira, and especially with those roads without sidewalks, places that are maybe a little obscure, that you want to teach the new dog how to get there and what to target and things like that. So yeah, you've got a great adventure ahead of you, and I wish you all the best in class. Hopefully it will not be too hot while you're there. It's pretty hot in that part of the country right now, I can tell you. Wonderful. Well, thank you everyone for being a part of this call. We certainly hope to see you at the conventions, either in our virtual exhibit hall or around the ACB and NFB conventions. And then going ahead, we will also be at Disability Inn from the 18th to the 21st, and we will be at the AHEAD conference from the 18th to the 21st of July. Now, our July call, we will probably not hold a July call. We will hold an August call, though, quite possibly, because we're all probably going to be recovering from Nolans. And so we will probably not have a July call. However, stay tuned, because we've got a lot going on in July that I think you're going to be pretty excited about. Just, the tagline is Ira everywhere. So just think about that. Ira anywhere you want it to be, just about. And stay tuned for more on that. Well, I'd like to thank, of course, Sandy, Marcus, let me run through all the names here. Sandy Marcus, Kelly Lovett, Savannah Massey, and our wonderful engineer, producer, and weatherer of storms, Sid.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, gang. Appreciate it. And I don't get to get out the Braille calendar this next time, except to tell you a couple important dates. So, we will be buzzing around the ACB convention and with our virtual exhibit hall from Saturday, July 2nd through Tuesday, July 5th. We will be in Nolans at NFB from July 6th through July 9th. So there's the Braille calendar. Yay. All right, everyone. Have a safe and happy 4th of July and end of June. And remember, that this coming Monday is actually the 19th is the official day. Most of us have the federal holiday off on Monday for Juneteenth, and this is the first year it will be a federal holiday. We're very excited about that. If you are going to a Juneteenth celebration, event, anything like that this weekend, please take Aira along, because I'm sure our agents would love to describe some of the things that are going on in honor of the Juneteenth holiday. And also check out, again, our YouTube channel for our Juneteenth special from last year and all of our Afternoon at the Museum programming that will kind of explain to you exactly why we are celebrating Juneteenth. So with that, I am Janine Stanley. Thank you so much, and we are out.